What is up, Workbringer here, and today I'm bringing you my very first Plaguefall plus 13, and it is fortified, it is quaking, and it's sanguine. So those affixes make that pretty much push weak. This plays on Tyrannical. I don't think I'll ever do it based on how difficult 13 is. I'm talking like a 15 Tyrannical, I don't know. I'm going to have to feel extra spicy to do that. This is hard enough. Quaking is a nightmare. Luckily, we're pretty ranged heavy in this case. So we're pulling the first patrol. We want to kick that. I've kind of taken to just pulling them right to the side here. It's like almost impossible to pull the people to the left. And it's a little RNG if we're going to get everyone. So that cast goes off. Everyone must have blown their interrupts at the exact same time, basically. So, I forgot how dicey that is. Yeah, the mage blinked forward and then ice blocked them and blinked back. I don't know if that was like on purpose. And then we all quake each other into like a lot of weird CC happening. But you'll see that I understand what's happening now in retrospect. So, you don't see it, but my macro, when I mark skull, we'll say primary interrupt and primary kill, and then you'll see an X, and I'll usually do that for our X. Normally means like that's the second priority kill after skull, and it also says stun. So in this case, it's especially true because we want to kick the Fungalmancer and we want to stun Fungal Storm or Fungi Storm, whatever. We'll see it again here. So I think everyone was showing off their different interrupts. I saw Dragon's Breath from the Fire Mage. I saw Typhoon, or rather Ursul's into Typhoon, which is pretty spicy. I've never seen that before, actually. And then our monk, who's got big damage, has, I forget what it's called. They have the AoE kick that, like, stuns everybody. Pretty awesome. So basically everyone everyone kicked, and everyone did their hard stun. However, we also quaked each other. So wasn't the best show of form for the first like actual pack, but you know, that's kind of what happens in a pug. Like, we're not all used to, you know, I guess it's not impossible, but it is, you know, it is rare to have the exact same comp ever, you know, multiple times in a row, unless you're running with consistent people. So, you know, we have our monk and we're just kind of figuring out like, oh, when sanguine happens, where does everyone stand? When the tank calls for a hard stun, who has it, right, and in what order? So we're not on voice comms. I have mixed feelings about voice comms these days. I'm now 7 out of 10 in the Castle Nathria raid, so I haven't done heroic sire or generals at the moment of recording this. And for raids, voice comms is pretty much required, I believe. I haven't really had great experiences without them. But with Mythic Plus is a little faster paced, I would say, than the raid. In that you're always kind of moving. You're always like as soon as when I'm on this pack, I'm thinking about the next pack, and when I'm on, you know, the raid pack, I'm thinking about when's Pride coming, and versus like the raid, it's like you really get to just sit there and focus on one boss the whole time, and except for Sire, spoiler alert, you don't really move all that much. Right, so this pug would have been much better with voice comms, even if people were just listening. That's it. And I'll point out the spots where that would have been the case. The first part wasn't great, but look at that technique. You see that sanguine distribution right there? Perfect sanguine line, right? It's almost like I've been doing Plaguefalls 11, 12, 13 back to back for hours, and that's because that's what this is. I've done a bunch of Plague 12s and 11s, and we couldn't even finish them. So as a tank, what I want to put out there is that definitely you can be at fault for many mechanics. You do have to get your gear level to the point where you're not going to get one shot, though that starts to happen no matter what, actually. But once you get the routes down, like I have for Plague here. Like I have done this. I'm pretty sure I've showed this route before at lower keys, like a 10. This is the exact same route, except we don't have the crazy pride death that we had, the pride split that we had before. But it's the same route. And what it comes down to is the group, man. It's all the group. So I'm the same gear level. I do the same route. I pop my cooldowns in the same place, usually, unless something spicy happens, which something spicy always happens in these higher keys. It's just any mistake is just punished so severely. And you'll see those. It'll be pretty obvious. But been doing a lot of Plaguefalls, and people just die to the last boss. They just die. And if I had to stereotype, and it's not really stereotype, it's just from like data from me running a lot of Plaguefalls, you know, 10 to 14 basically. 14's not even that different, to be honest. That's how I feel about all these now. I've confidently done, I believe 13's of basically everything. I'm like well above 1,000 now, IO. And it's not that different for me as a tank. Like a little bit more gear for me. It's not going to change anything, except for the trinket. That's what I do the raid. But it's basically the comp, and I'm becoming more confident in that. And all I can really do is do my route, try to give some people like a little bit of a heads up when it's a little funny. I'll share my MDT and just give, you know, if there's something like in this fight, for instance, not this particular fight, but here I specifically say, hey, Spider Boss, we're not going down after, and I'll say it multiple times. But voice comms would have saved us a lot of trouble, and I'll point out where that is. However, most of these don't have voice comms, the majority. So we one-phased it, and who could have foreseen that Monk would be the meta for Mythic Plus? They bang. The melee monks, they bang. They have AoE kick, they have paralysis, and they have Ring of Peace. They can do a lot. So watch this. Ooh. Oh. Lay on hands. Now, I wrote kiting too. I'm not sure how many people have seen this before, but I'm like, yep, these 3 slimes delete tanks. Now, you'll see that we partially, if you watch a lot of the high keys that are going on right now, I think people are doing like 22s of Plaguefall, which is like absolutely bananas, right? But it's all about the canister down there, because these things live a long time. I don't feel spicy enough to do this yet, but you can pull this Plague Rock. You can pull the Patrol that's going back and forth, and those Plague Borers all at once. And what you have to do is is blow up that canister right there and stun them so they blow up in it while not killing the tank. Right? All the ranged people sit in the back like, lol, see how this goes. Well, me, I don't like doing that yet, and I have not, to my understanding with this so far, time-wise, like you'll see, that play does not make up enough time for the risk yet. However, I think when you get into the maybe the 15s, I haven't pulled the 15 yet. I've been doing some 14s, not super successfully, but close. Like 2 minutes over, 8 minutes over sometimes. But, you know, basically groups like this where we do a great job and confidently time it. It's very common for me at this point to do 2 in a row. Like I'll come into like a somewhat lower key, like a lower mid key, and like crush a 12 or crush a 13, and then the key gets upgraded and everyone's like, let's go do it. That happened like 2 or 3 times today. I've been doing a lot of dungeons today. I just couldn't find a good Castle Nathria pug. It's a lot harder for some reason to find those. It's like you have to commit like hours to finding the pug and then hours to doing it. It's just different. I was like, let's just blow up some keys while it's push week. And yeah, I did a 13 mists. We moved on to a 14, didn't get it. Then I did a 13 spires, I think, and we moved on to a 14 something. I think it was a theater pain. Still have the IO from it. It's close, but we didn't get it. And yeah, the 14s are just less forgiving. Basically, if you make any mistake, you know, still at the gear level that we're at, it's like, well, that was the key, you know. And people are gonna make mistakes. Like I make mistakes. I think there's some. I don't remember if there's any like big misplays from me on this one, But I definitely remember in this run where the mistakes are. Even little things like in the beginning, like that kind of botched, everyone threw down all of their hard stuns at once. Like that's kind of a disaster. Because those are on cooldown forever now. So I'm still in the mindset that one pack at a time, nice and slow. I'm just going to say it that the mage at this point is asking me to pull bigger. And they're pretty high IO. I don't know if you can like catch it. So we did the canister correctly there. So they have, both of these should have the debuff. So they melt like a little faster. But the mage is asking to pull bigger because they've probably seen that, you know, and they want to, you know, use Combust on like a huge group. You can basically pull that whole front of the room at once if you're feeling up to it. And let me tell you who does that. Demon Hunters. Paladin's probably not feeling Omega interested in doing that. I'm not yet. But I'll tell you, we timed this. It's not like massively close. Okay, here's a new thing I do. Ready? This is called Repentance. Ready? Repentance, the humanoid, 1 minute stun. Yeah, take out the Plaguebinder. He's nasty. He's nasty. So here comes the frontal. I'm pretty dead here. But I pop into Guardians. We live it. The spikes. And where I've positioned him is defensive so that, one, the frontal goes into the wall. Do not chase those. This is where, if I was in voice comms, I would be like, don't chase them. They're coming back. They actually blew up right on in a good place. I get all the metamorphosis. I tell them to do not even attempt to do metamorphosis because it will kill them. Maybe the monk. You'd have to pop a major defensive, but a mage, a druid, a priest, walk into a bar. No. If they try to pop those metamorphoses on Fortify 13, it's one shot. They will just die. So it's my entire job is to get them. So much that we just leave Pride there. Okay, ready for this? Repentance. Boom. Still CC'd. What? So the reason I'm doing that isn't that I'm not confident that we could melt them all. It's that I have the perfect Pride number here, right? I had that down to the %. Right, so we have him now, right? So that was mid-pack. But I know that if we kill everything but that one, that's perfect Pride. And Plaguebinder's dropping all sorts of nasty stuff on us that we want to kick, and there's all the chaos of the... You basically don't want the Plaguebinder missing a kick, and then those metamorphoses come out. It's a disaster. It's a wipe disaster, and then Pride comes out, right? So that's me smoothing it out. So Repentance as a Paladin. Oh, you'll see it. That's my new Mythic plus CC. All the other ones can take a break. Blinding Light, garbage. Fist of Justice, I actually really like Fist of Justice. That's what I've been running before. That's what I would use as a default. But you'll see there's certain dungeons now that I use Repentance, and it is the way. Didn't that pull look really easy? Right? Repentance pull, deal with 3 mobs, Pride in a clean time, then clean up that other mob. Try pulling them all together with a pug and see how it goes without voice comms, right? I mean, it can go okay. But like I said, I've done this Plaguefall a lot. An awful lot. I have seen every sort of botched wipe pull variation of what I'm doing today. So this one I always hate. It's my least favorite part, other than the end. The last boss. And there's just a lot going on with quaking, so I think I just took some quaking. But I'm living it. Okay, here comes the big circle. Timer's a little unfortunate. And I don't believe the boars blow up on him. Yeah, they do not because of that pushback. I think that Typhoon did it. Anyway, you want the Plague Boars to blow up on this guy, and it, like, kills him. The problem is I'm not a Demon Hunter, and if I get stuck in it, I'm dead. And I don't want to die right here. It's a long walk back. I guess they could res me. I'm trying not to die, though, so it's not going ideal. You're supposed to leave him in there, and I pull him out, right? So, rip. But we get him. You're supposed to blow up the Plague Boars on him. I'm just a little fidgety up there. I don't like last minute doing this. Okay, so a lot of people do it here. I personally hate. I don't like doing this here. And this is a voice comms thing. And I told my last pug this too. I was like, hey, everyone has a different concept of how these pulls should go. But I have to do my version of it or I'm uncomfortable. And my timing, my internal timing clock of how this should look and feel is off. And I have a very specific way that I do this. And while I rolled with the punches for that one, they want to go do that other one first. That's a nightmare. I've done that route. That's really bad. I'm typing right now. Luckily, I'm not pulling the boss. I just tell him, I was like, I don't like going that way. I'm like, come back. A wipe here is the run. Is actually, if we wipe on him, this is over. So those couple seconds, they're not a big deal. So I pull him in. You hide here, which LOSs them all the way over here. And now it's like we're free reign, right? Divine Toll, silence everybody. Give them the business. So this is the way that I like to do it. I actually normally pull that pack, that other island to the center here too, but I actually like the way that we did it. I think that's fine. Maybe I'll start doing that, but then run back here. And that LOS trick, I forget who I learned that from, but that LOS trick makes this look easy, right? It's like, oh, they just ran over here. Try this in a pug. Try this in a pug. Now, this is, I think, an all 1,000 plus IO group, which is lovely. But still, you saw how funky and weird the first pull was, right? I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just like timings. We just don't know what we're going to do. So let me tell you, this is where I need voice comms. What I would say is do not touch these mobs until they get back here. Don't touch. Don't touch. You see that combust going off? Watch what happens. Lose aggro. That frontal now hits me, kills the priest. You know who did this? The fire mage killed us. Now, the fire mage doesn't know not to combust on him. But you don't... It's basically if I had gotten him to a little bit further back, we would have been fine. But he combusted on him as he's pulling him in. But he doesn't know. We're not talking. It's a little thing, right? It's like, oh, we pulled the ad. Let's just drop deeps. But I didn't have him in position yet. So I hit the frontal and the priest got killed. And so the priest is running back. Right? Okay, so Quaking, Pride. He's in Sanguine. So what's going to happen is this guy's going to... Okay, he's doing spikes on the ground. Plus the Pride plus sign. And he's going to try to belch here. Frontal. He does do the frontal. And then dies. And now what do I have to do? With Pride, with Quaking, I have to solo step on all those because no one else can handle it. And we pull it off. That would have been so easy if that fire mage had not combusted before I got them in position. I've done this clean. No one ever dies. Where no one dies. Pride's very simple. But there's... I guess I need to type, let me get them in position. And on voice comms, obviously it would be very easy. I would be like, hold, go, you know. So while the priest is back already, this is their key. You know, it's just not good. Just not good. But what am I supposed to do? You know, I need to say, like, please let me get them into position. I kind of know that now, even at a higher key. Yeah, I don't know what to say. That's basically it, because that strat works all the time. I mean, it works here too. It's just the priest at the frontal. The other thing, again, a voice comms is I was like, I'm gonna stand here. Don't stand on me, because then you're gonna eat the frontal, right? And those are little things you say when you're in voice comms, and they're like, oh, cool, you know, positioning. I wonder what they were expecting, to be honest, with positioning. So anyway, we have to kill the bomb over there. We wiped on another 13 I did where they weren't killing the bomb fast enough. I was like, how are you doing a 13? Anyway, I hodged the Congealed. Congealed needs to stay away. You do need to melee tank Dr. Whatever this dude's name is, or he will drop cast damage on the whole raid. It's very bad. Then you focus down the Congealed. Most groups know this. This isn't worth explaining. Spider Boss, not everybody knows. There's like little min-max things about Spider Boss. Priest got hit there. It's a toughie. Do I get hit? I might. No, I didn't get it. Anyway, it's a little tricky to explain that. The more you do it, the more you can understand how that plus sign works. It's actually based on the direction that he came from and where he's going. If you draw that straight line from there, the cardinal directions will be drawn. So you have to see where he came from. But if you're healing, it's probably tricky to watch that and the raid bars at the same time. Or if you don't, you die. And dying to, you know, dying on that boss is it's GG to the key. You know, I would still finish it, but I wouldn't be trying like as hard. I was like, you can't die on him. It's a very long walk back. As you saw from the priest, it's like if we all have to do that, and then we lose 5 times 5, like basically 30 seconds of time to just deaths, that's over. This place is pretty tight, and again, like as you've seen, you'll probably see me get more ambitious over this now. Like now with 13, I know it's not me. Like I tank it how I tank it. I know how to do it as safe as possible. That fire mage combusted before the thing came, so that killed the priest. And my whole job as a pug tank, which I honestly really enjoy still. Just the spice of a completely new group of people, new comp sometimes is cool. I mean, I know what my ideal comp is for every dungeon, but, you know, I'm always open to be surprised. But I'm still into it. I'm still liking to do this, and I just build defensive routes. I do routes that are straightforward. I haven't done a video on my new Necrotic Wake route, but I will. Again, this is wipe prevention here. X, don't stand on the X. Green, do stand on the green. I also do a little butt wiggle, you'll see, when I get there. This is because people pull this tentacle. And apparently the tentacles don't have any counts, so I always thought it was throwing off like count. Anyway, we don't want this tentacle. Time-wise, it's just dumb. And you have to stand in the green. I do the dance. Means go there. Everyone does it perfectly. Excellent. Right? This is the route that I always do here, perfectly memorized. I don't really entertain other routes. Now there's min-maxing efficiencies. Again, in that beginning, you could pull all those together. I would need voice comms, and I would want to be with a group that's like okay to wipe on it. Right, like testing it. I was like, let's go to like a, you know, I don't know, 7, right? So we have all the affixes, but let's just practice as a group doing that pull, because it requires everyone. So the other thing we're gonna do here is, I think we pull it off. I do X and it says stun, and I spam it a couple times. Stun stealthlings. Wait. They let it fall off. Perfect. Stun. Stun. Dragon breath. Great. Into the next phase. Stealth things. Dead. Boom. That one didn't do stealth things. That is a gigantic time saver if you can pull that off. It's again much easier with voice comms. But we're gonna try the same thing here. It's not gonna work. Stealth things. Oh no. Oh, they got it. They know what's up. They're trying. Blackout kick. I got nothing. I got nothing. They go out. Okay. That's the game. If you can pull that off, you're in an extremely good group. We came very close. If I had maybe talented Fist of Justice, I probably may have had my stun back in time. I'm not so sure. But that's the Omega. Like you're saving a lot of time if you can never let stealth things go out on the 3 spiders that are here. We did it on the first one. We didn't quite do it on the second one, and I don't believe we get it on this one because everyone's stuns are probably on cooldown at this point. If you remember, if you watched, you know, if you're watching all these runs, you know, the last Plaguefall I posted, which was a 10, which is honestly not any different. I don't tank a 10 any differently than I do a 13. I just maybe foolishly expect people to do it better because it's a higher key and higher IO, but which tends to be the case here. But we tried to CC. Yeah, we let stealth things go. It's really tough to do it all in a run. I've never had stealth things never go off. Well, this one's a bit of a disaster actually because of that fear. That fear has them like running away, and I'm like, you know, there's trash back there. We don't want that. But it's recoverable. But yeah, it's not worth CCing this pack. I can actually with Repentance, which it was cool to see the Repentance on this run. So that dude's just in Sanguine. Oh no, Sanguine disappeared, but he full healed because he was sitting in Sanguine. So we're just like, well, lol. He doesn't move. Typhoon's probably off cooldown, and it's like we'll just kill him after. It's fine. But if you want to see the perfection of this route, right? Pride with 1 ad left, right? That's pretty good. And you saw my Repentance pull where I leave the Plague Biter, who's a nightmare of a mob to deal with. If you kill everything around him, I can re-CC him later. which I did not know Paladins had this, and I've been using it constantly. You'll see it. It's incredible. Perfect Pride route. I know exactly when it's going to come. I know which ad I want to get rid of. And this one, again, if you execute it like this, so this is what we didn't see in the 10, it's perfect. Is anyone stressed about a single Pride in one ad? Like, not really. The stealth things are always a bit of a stressful moment because someone's about to get deleted if we don't kill them. Not me. I don't think the stealth things ever target the tank. But these clothy people over here, they're dead if those stealth things get on. They're just so dead. Warrior might live it. Rep Paladin, but yeah. Over eager with the efflorescence on the ground, like, you know, just wait. But whatever. So this fight's very difficult on Quaking because the whole mechanic of this fight is stay together. So when someone gets that circle, they run out, and then I run back in. We're already in this phase, so you have to use untargeted AoEs to get these spiders out. People are doing a great job. Think of a Divine Toll, bring them all in. Very good first phase. I believe I'm using my shield trinket. This is from the other side. I really want the 210 end of dungeon, or 226 if that exists. 226 version of this trinket is like, it's life. It is life-saving. And then the other trinket I want, which I'm farming from the heroic raid and normal raid, I guess. I really want the heroic version of it though, so I do heroic Sun Kings, is the cheat death. If I can get the 210, 226 of that trinket, and then like a 213 or whatever heroic raid is of the cheat death, we're going to be in a good place. So we killed that real quick. That was two-phase, pretty nice little, what's it called? Celebration dance from our Resto Druid tree. Their job is not over. We have the hardest part of the dungeon next. So because I've wiped so many times to all these, like, yeah, I don't know if we call them intricate pulls, but they're delicate. They are delicate pulls. This is not face rolling. I don't know if it appears like face rolling. There's some dungeons that are face rolling. Plaguefall is a delicate ballet of, in my opinion, to pull these off. And with Repentance in the toolkit now, I used to ask mages to sheep and hunters to ice trap, and then they do the wrong one. And like, because yeah, I get it. You know, it's like we'd have to be the same group every time to get that down. Repentance now is everything. And yeah, I have this place pretty finessed at this point. Like, I know where the count is. New affixes do throw things for a loop a little bit. I mean, that's their job. But I have pull for pull, pride for pride, memorized how this works, all within my own utility. No rogue, no, I don't need anything to do it. And all I do is roll the dice with different groups and see how the dice land, how the cards land. Okay, so I've done this one recently, and with Quaking, I don't think people knew where we're going. I don't think everyone knows that there's slimes back here, but this is my control. This is what I do for a pug if I don't trust them, is I will leave this slime to the end, and then this will give pride. But this group, I trust him, and I was like, well, kill it first. So now if you kill it first, you'll get pride when the second to last Plague Devoted dies. That's how tight this route is again. So see this Plague Bound Devoted? I mean, these two don't really count. Quaking's a little tough here. But that slime back there, if you pull that slime into the corridor and Quaking goes off, very hard to get out of the way. I know that because we all killed each other on one of my last runs doing that, so I have a safer place now. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in here, right? So we have to kill, obviously, Ikor. He's the caster. The Plaguebound Devoted move extremely slowly. However, if they touch you, they will kill you. If one of those Plaguebounds auto-attacked the mage at a 13 fortified, I think it kills them, right? Get melee distance of one of them, and you're not a tank, you're dead. Right, so that's how those go. The big boys that are running around, they cannot be CC'd, they can be slowed though, right? It's very tempting to pull the whole room as a disaster on fortified. You don't want to do that. It's too much chaos. Maybe with a very controlled group and you're just like, we're pushing it, right? And you want to, but like, look how much time we have, right? The mage was asking me, hey, you know, you can pull bigger, like go faster. And you saw I pulled I pulled things like one at a time, one at a time. I even CC'd things, which is always slower to CC. It's slower, but it's controlled. It's finessed. And I've controlled and finessed this run till now, and we have 8 minutes left for the boss. That's comfy. That's very comfy. Now, we're not out of the woods yet here. Very comfy. We're going to kill Ecor. That's good. The Plaguebound, the big one's coming for me. That's fine. I tell everyone to like kind of lay off, and we need to get repositioned to the back. I was like, pull back here, right? In case anyone's like tunnel visioning, I'm like, you know, Pride comes and the boss comes, right? Like that's what's coming up next. Anyway, this pull is so finessed. I don't ask them to do it here, but you can actually safety this if you only kill one of them, which I think we're going to kill both. If you only kill one, you get Pride, and one of them is still walking towards us, so we don't even spawn the boss, which is an extra safety. But like I said, this route's uber finessed, and if I don't trust the group, I won't kill that slime first, right? And so what we'll have done is we'll have killed that room, and they'll be like, oh, what's up? And so we lose about 10 seconds running back to get the slime. But say like our healer was or something, or someone had died, right? Say someone had died and we had to like had to res them, you know? Pride hasn't popped up, so it's a control, but this group I trust. So 7 minutes left to kill this boss is very comfy. I have a feeling at 14 they cut the time and it's less comfy. At 15 it's even less comfy. Then you have to double pull. You have to make those optimizations. However, it's my judgment still that a 13 is just careful precision pulling, no wiping. That's the priority, no wiping. Some people can die. We've had one death, but no wiping. That death was avoidable too, if the fire mage hadn't combusted, but they didn't know, right? I didn't tell them. This is where all the pugs die. To be absolutely honest, I have done super high keys with pretty high IO people, and they still die already. Already would be dead. You know, you can laugh, but you know, I don't know what's going on with what's going on with that monk. What happened to him? Why is that monk dead? Why did that monk die? I still don't get that. I'm gonna watch this back even after, but look at this. Looks like a wipe, doesn't it? Lay on hands. Someone died again. Is this rain? Look at the druid. Look at the druid. Ready? Okay. Cleanse. Cleanse the druid. Stop the dot. And I think I healed them a little bit too. That cleanse. I don't think the druid can cleanse themselves. That was the key. I'm not trying to say like I saved it. That druid was at 2% with a pretty vicious dot on them. This dot is insane. And I cleansed them. And they didn't die. And then they battle res the priest. Sketch. Super sketch. And we actually went through a couple healers. Like these healers are like 215 level, like 1200 IO, like super high IO. You'll see it if you look at the top left, like high IO. And we were like picky. And I was telling him about this. I was like, I don't think they've been chain running them like I had. I told him, I've been chain running Plaguefalls all day to get this. And I was like, people died at Healing Ray. And they're like, really? So you guys saw it. Healing Ray wrecks. So it is a healer battle. And I cut that very close with the tentacle. Very close. Try to keep aggro on everybody. On the devoted. So if the monk wants to go get him, they can. So I have full aggro. But people die to this healing rain out here all the time. And I can cleanse myself, and I've got lots. I can still immune. Should, like, absolute disaster occur. Okay, there goes the warp. Someone got slapped. Someone's getting slapped. All the other things are red herrings. Do not touch the plague bounds. Just get away. And we got her. That's a tough fight. That healing rain... This isn't even tyrannical. We were joking after. I was like, imagine tyrannical 15. It's like, yeah, no. No. Yeah, that is a hard key. It's finessed. Now, it's actually not hard for me. I don't ever die here to like screw ups anymore. Like I know this route so well. Very happy with the group. We're all celebrating because I think we all know how tricky this is. I especially know because I wiped like so many 12s and 13s before it. But that's my route. It's up to the group. Voice comms would be a little smoother for certain parts. We would have had 0 deaths on it. But overall, a pretty clean run. Healing Rain, get ready, healers out there. It's like, oh, smooth run, smooth run. Get ready for the Healing Rain when there's all that. The Plagueborns are out and the tentacles up. It's a big thing. But we got it in the bag. Plague 13, I'm coming for you. 14 and 15, Plague. Kind of depends on the group, though. I'm going to tank it the same way. See you on the next one.